JohnFilax.
John, how you doing? I thought it'd be you.
What's that?
I thought it'd be you.
Yeah, it's me. How are you? So you're Rogue Nation, right?
Yes, sir.
You got time to have a conversation?
Absolutely.
You mind if I do like maybe publish this and see what you're all about and how you became who you are, and because I'm very impressed by you.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So your name's George?
Yes, sir.
So I've been watching your stuff, dude, and it's amazing. You're amazing.
Thank you, sir. And I appreciate that. You're one of the guys that I actually enjoy watching on the YouTube myself.
Well, I appreciate that very much. The way you recall laws and the way you recall court cases is astounding. How are you doing it? Does it just come natural? Did you have to do a ton of studying and memorization?
Yeah, with a lot of the court cases and stuff like that, I have a pretty good memory. I started reading when I was real young. By the 7th grade, I was reading about 500 to 700 pages a day and retaining about 70 to 80% of it. So about 7, 8 years ago, I started looking into the law, and it's just something that really, captures my attention. So I buy old law books, I buy old history books, and I do a research into society and then the laws and how they pertain to us and how they control us and that sort of thing.
What made you start doing that?
What really started getting me into it was one of my buddies was going on one of those sovereign citizen bench freaks. So I wanted to try to figure out what he was doing and try to help him make sure he was staying above the board and not getting in trouble with a lot of these other guys were by just going by the case law and what I'd like to call sovereign white papers.
That's what. Okay. So the sovereign citizen thing. We basically all get labeled that by the police. They all group us all together, whether you're a constitutionalist, a libertarian, just someone that's one law specific, like First Amendment, auditors. They all throw us in the same group as sovereign citizens, when in fact they're the ones who are sovereign from the actual law, and they investigate themselves, if we're going to be technical.
Exactly.
Okay, so...
Exactly, yeah, it's like a flip of the script there.
Right, it's like, we're going to call you what we're doing.
Right, and the reason they do that is because sovereign citizen is a trigger word for most of the sheep. It used to be conspiracy theorists, back during 9/11 and all that other stuff.
And then that wore
out. It wasn't sovereign citizen, right? It was the conspiracy theorists. And what happens is, just like with the advertisers, they have those catchphrases that make people want to buy stuff. It's the same way psychologically. With the sheep, with the programming, when someone says that you're a conspiracy theorist or now a sovereign citizen, then most people's brain will shut off to any intelligent discourse.
Oh,
that they would.
You're so right.
That they would normally have. You know what I mean? So as soon as someone labels you that, pretty much you can discount any kind of intelligent discourse from that moment on.
Sure.
You'll hear do you have a job, or, you just, whatever.
Bootlicker propaganda.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why they label, First Amendment auditors and constitutionalists, Second Amendment, protesters. That's why they label them all in there together, because they know that once they label these people that the majority of the population ain't really going to want to hear anything you got to say.
Right. You're right. You're totally right. They're programmed. They hear certain words, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that word was created from the Southern Poverty Law Center and then dispersed throughout all the law enforcement throughout the country. Is that right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
And the Southern Poverty Law Center is not government affiliated. They're a private group, basically. They're basically a hate group themselves.
That's what I believe. Yes.
Oh, you broke up there. If you were to repeat it, please.
That's what I believe as well, that they are themselves a hate group fostering mansions that are asking questions that are not satisfied with the status quo. They're lumping them all in, conspiracy theorists, sovereign citizens, whatever.
Yeah, basically anyone who believes in the Constitution, believes in civil liberties, believes in the Bill of Rights, believes in the right to bear arms, believes in speech, and believes in the right to redress of grievances is considered a sovereign citizen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because they don't want people getting involved into those kinds of research aspects. The government for 100 years has been trying to weed out civics and the truth, and they've done a great job. People don't understand private property or property. They don't understand rights. They just don't understand a lot of what society is about and even how it operates. So
now,
it's really fascinating to watch.
So when your buddy was getting into the sovereign citizen stuff, he was he grasping onto a lot of stuff that, while might be true, is not practical in the real world?
Yeah, when I found through a lot of my research, and I wrote a blog for a couple of years on the topics that I was researching, and which I dove into a lot of different books, and I posted about the books. I even included excerpts from the books into the blog so people could read what I was reading. And there's a lot of truth into what those guys say, but practicality-wise is near impossible today in this day and age.
Locked up or having violence used against you is almost impossible to implement.
Right, exactly. Like the right to travel movement. That's a perfect example. There's a lot of fraud that goes on within the system here, and you could possibly prove it, but the cost to you of doing all this stuff is great, and again, it might not have viable applications that are going to be rewarding in that aspect.
Sure.
Because it's hard to pin these guys down. When I first started doing the First Amendment audits, I wanted to get into asking the government officials some of these questions that have bothered me for years. Like, I'll give you a great one since you're also here in Florida, is that under, I believe it is 32203, which is the, everybody has to have a driver's license to operate a motor vehicle in the state of Florida.
Yes.
Said driver's license shall be issued under this chapter. So you go look in 322, which is the driver's license chapter, and there is only the Commercial Driver's License Act.
Right.
There is no non-commercial driver's license act. So I've been trying to pin these guys down and say, hey, where in the statute is the non-commercial driver's license issued at?
Correct.
And I've been stonewalled since day one. No one has any answer to that. They don't give legal advice. They like to say the state attorney and just everything like that.
The answer to that is there is no non-commercial driver's license. That's the answer. We're all by ignorance letting them do this to us.
Of course.
It's exactly like the Internal Revenue Code. There is no law that says you have to pay an income tax, and they claim it's voluntary, but the problem is it's not voluntary when guys with guns will come take everything you own.
Well, see, what happened there was with the income tax, at least back in the day, they slipped on us in the Social Security.
Hold on, George, 1 second. Hold on, because you broke up there. So, you said what happened there with the income tax?
In 1935 Social Security Act, in Section 801, it's other taxes. I believe the title of it's other taxes.
Section 861, I think it is, 861.
Yeah, basically it said that if you're, paying Social Security taxes, any other kind of income that you have coming in, you have to pay taxes on it too. They didn't hide the requirement for the income tax in the income tax code in the beginning. It was in the Social Security Act.
Right.
And so that's how they got around most of that. But what it is that people don't understand the word income.
Right.
Because the word income is only profit or gain derived from a source.
From a what? From a what?
Capital.
You broke up there again. Gain.
Broke up there again.
Gains or profits from a.
Yeah, derived from a source, from like labor or capital. Labor being if you had a landscaping company and you had 10 guys working for you, and you charged $10 an hour, then that other $10 an hour off each of your workers, that would be considered income.
Yeah, that's gains.
And capital, if you invest $100 in Microsoft and you get $1,000 back, well, then 900 of that would be
gains.
Taxable.
That's gains.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's commercial activity. But when I go to work and I work 8 hours for $10 an hour, I traded 8 hours worth of labor for $80. I did not. There's no gain. It's an equal trade.
Exactly. There is no gain, and I believe Tommy Cryer actually
yes, sir.
Did some work on that, and he reversed, or he got something held back, but that's exactly the whole ideal.
Let me also add Whitey Harrell, he won, and Joseph Bannister, who was an IRS employee looking to prove guys like us wrong, actually couldn't prove us wrong and got fired and then sued, and then he also beat the IRS.
Right. What about Ponsford, too? Did you ever hear Ponsford?
I haven't.
Oh, man, you should read his letter to the IRS, dude. It is crazy.
Send it to me, man. I'll read it. I'll read it on my channel.
Okay, yeah, the Ponsford letter. I got a link to it on PDF.
Okay.
But yeah, he really lays it into it. He was a really smart guy, that guy.
All right. So let me ask.
But
we can get into more IRS stuff some other time. But so when did you start doing auditing?
I started doing it last July. My wife had left town for a couple months, and I've been wanting to get into it. So it just seemed like a good time, and I'd been watching the audits for quite some time then, and like I knew some of the basic laws. I hadn't been into too much of the photography laws yet, just because, like I said, my law research runs the gamut. So
sure.
I was
You're not a lawyer, right? Hold on, George. Hold on again. So are you a lawyer?
No, sir, I'm not.
Okay, good. That's great.
Yep.
Yep.
Not a lawyer.
I want to get through a bunch of stuff. Like, you were at a correction facility for children. Is that right? For kids.
Yes.
And you went in there, and immediately a bunch of employees, big dudes, started basically accosting you in the lobby and pretty much intimidated you out. Not intimidated you, but pushed you out the door without actually touching you. So you went out the door,
right.
You went down to the end of the sidewalk, and then one dude was telling you couldn't move forward, blocking your way, and then when the cop showed up and you explained to him verbatim the law that they were breaking, he ignored everything and told you to leave anyway, and just kept yelling over you.
Right, he trespassed me, yep.
Well, he verbally trespassed you. He didn't give you no paperwork.
No.
Okay, so
no, he did not.
So as you're ending the video, you're like, all right, there's my civil lawsuit. Now, are you going to file a, 42-1983 suit against him for that?
Yes, I will.
And
yes, I will.
And can you explain how that's done and how much it costs, if you know?
Yeah, the filing fees on that, if you're doing it pro se, are going to run about $400.
Okay.
That's just the filing fees. Then you got the summons that you have to serve.
So okay, so
I believe they're like
hold on. Let's go slow on this. Since you know, let's go slow so people know how they can sue for a civil rights violation. You had every right to be there. You had every right to make open records request. They violated the law by basically forcing you out, accosting you, and then not letting you move forward. Then the cop came and ignored every law you told him straight to his face. And now you're saying USC 42 1983 lawsuit is what it's called, right?
Yes.
And then $400 filing fee. Then
Yep, there's a $400 filing fee.
And then you said...
And then you have to serve the summons on the defendants.
And now you can't do that on your own, right? You have to, like, give it to your
You got to get a process service. Right, you got to do it through a process server, or the sheriff's department can handle it, or a disinterested third party could handle it, like you said, a friend. But I don't think it's a friend. I think you have to actually go through like a process server here.
Now, you said you could do it. You could serve it on them, just hand it in at the sheriff's department?
Well, the sheriff's department is more than likely the person that would be doing the process serving. They have a civil division, the sheriff's department, usually in every courthouse, and you go to them and you say, hey, I need these summons served on, this guy, and then you got to pay a fee for each summons. I believe it's $30, $25 or $30 per summons, and then they'll serve that on the defendants. And I believe after you file the case, you got 90 days in which to serve the summons on the defendants.
Well, wouldn't you do that the same day?
You could, but legally you have up to 90 days in order to serve the summons. Like if for some reason you're filing a suit, but you don't know the actual defendant's maybe last name or maybe where he works or some kind of other identifying.
I see.
You see what I'm saying?
It has to be complete.
Right. So then you can do the summons then.
Okay, so let's say, so you file 400. You summons the guy 35. We're at 435. Now the guy gets summons. Now what happens?
Well, now when you send the summons, you send the complaint with them, and then and they have a chance to respond. I believe after that it goes to mediation to see if you guys can settle it outside of court. And if you can't settle it outside of the courtroom, then you'll be set for a trial date. And then, you take it to trial. If there's not a settlement that comes down the pipeline from, the DA or whatever.
So who are you suing?
The other
the
side.
cop or the employer or both?
In that specific case that we're talking about at the detention center,
yes,
we're going to be suing the cop.
Personally.
We're going to be suing right. Okay. And that's in his individual capacity.
Okay.
Instead of his official capacity.
Now, what about? I'm sorry to keep cutting you off. Now, you said you're going to sue him personally, and what about his what do you call it? Not sovereign immunity, qualified immunity.
Well, that's why we're suing him personally. If we sue him in his official capacity, the state looks at that as you're suing the actual county, which has the sovereign immunity. And we're suing him in his personal capacity because of the fact that he violated a well-known and well-established right, being the First Amendment right to free press.
Sure.
And we're also putting it in a 1985 because they conspired together, him and the detention center workers.
Oh.
So we're doing him, we're doing the detention center workers, we're doing the county. And we're also probably doing the state because it's a state-run facility. It's a state contracted facility.
Now, is that three different suits at 400 each? Blah blah blah.
No, that's one suit, and they would all be defendants in the suit, so they would all get summons for that suit.
Oh.
So we're looking at four defendants there. Let's say $35 a pop. You're looking at 140, so $540 to file the case so far. I want to try to make it not as high as possible. I want to make it reasonable, so that way there's more of a chance of a settlement coming down the line, and I don't have to take it.
You're going to ask for a certain amount of money or something?
Yeah. In the complaint, you ask for the damages that you want, and you tell them the basis for the damages.
How are you coming up with the number?
Well, different things are different prices. If you're detained, you got the Tresvant versus Tampa, I believe. That's a case that I believe you got like $1,000 a minute for being detained. So there's some basis on some of them that you can use, and other ones like the civil rights ones, there's really no basis that you can use. I don't think there's a landmark case out there that says, well, for each basic, you get this much, and with each case there's a fact. So basically, what I'm looking at is on a civil rights violation, could do maybe $5,000 per defendant. So for this case, 4 people, $20,000 I'd ask for.
Say that again, please.
With 4 defendants at $5,000 a piece per defendant, I'd ask for $20,000.
Okay, tell us the title of that video so people can go see what we're talking about.
That title is, if stupid was a disease, the CDC would be all over this place.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And the channel name is Rogue Nation, ROGUE space NATION. This guy is amazing. People subscribe to his channel. So you make it sound really simple. Is it that simple?
It is that simple, really. The district websites, the district court's website, have a manual for you to file by yourself. They have the forms up there for you to fill out. It's pretty cut and dry, really.
Okay.
Again, there's some terms in the complaint, like, and again, suing somebody in their official versus their individual capacity. There's some stuff you might have to spend a couple of minutes doing, looking around and finding out, but they make it pretty simple for you.
Have you ever thought about becoming a 42 U.S. 1983 lawyer, if that's a such thing? Because it seems like no lawyers want to touch that.
Right, and here's the thing: not a lot of lawyers do on most simple violations, say an unlawful detainment, because there's not a lot of money there for the lawyer. Once the money and you guys split it, however the split's done, there's not a lot of money there for the lawyer. So you only usually find them taking like unlawful arrests, and even then, sometimes it's hard unless there's some injuries or something, like the cop, hits you in the head or something, and you have to go to the hospital.
Go ahead. Sorry.
A lot of these simple violations, just like an unlawful detainment on the side of the sidewalk or whatever for 20 minutes, I mean, these are going unprosecuted, and, the cops are getting away with it, so they just keep on and keep on,
Right.
It's human nature, If I keep getting away with this and nothing happens, I'm going to keep doing it.
So the solution is we get off our asses and file these lawsuits you're talking about.
Absolutely.
And let me ask, if you don't have $600, let's say, isn't there a way to you got to tell them you're destitute or something to that nature?
Yeah. Even if you don't have the money to file, you can say that you're destitute, that you don't have the money to file. Indigent is what it's called.
Indigent, that's right.
Yep, and they have the paperwork there that you would fill out if you're indigent as well, and you would file them the same time you would file the complaint. To start the case, and they'd look that over and they'd make that decision and what have you not. So yeah, there's a way to even redress the court there if you're not on your luck. So
okay.
Luckily for me, I had some subscribers. They donated to me, so I've got my complaint from my first lawsuit. My St. Pete Airport lawsuit is ready to go, and I've got a lawyer that's looking at my lawful arrest in Orange County. So I actually did have...
Have you won any or gone through from start to finish any of these lawsuits?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'm still in the process. Right, yes, they're all still pending. I haven't even started to fill out the complaint on the Marion County one yet. And I've got like 6 or 7 of them backed up, just waiting on the fee. So waiting on donations from my subscribers, and I work for 2 jobs, so whatever free money I can get.
sorry. I think I caused it to break up when I cut you off too. So I wanted to ask you were filming the breast First Amendment audit.
Yeah.
Where the cop said don't film people's breasts, and then you're like, oh, I'm filming your breasts right now. But my thing is, that dude said come outside and he wanted to fight you. Did he swat your camera by chance?
No, he didn't. When he said put the camera down, I put the camera down, and then he was like, well, why don't you come outside? Then I went outside.
Don't cuss. Okay. Yeah. So, and you said that's, when he threatened to fight you, that's an assault, you said, by law.
Yes, when you make a threat to somebody and you have the means to carry out that threat, then that's considered an assault in Florida.
So when he said he's going to F you up in front of everybody, that would be considered an assault, a threat of violence.
Absolutely. Yep, it's a threat of violence with the means to carry out that threat.
Yeah, well, the means would be fists and the ability to stand.
Yep. Yeah. Well, he said he was going to, knock me out or whatever.
Yeah. Well, my question is, you told the officer that, but it seemed like they still walked at the end. Why?
Yes. Now, the reason for that was when I told that officer that, and I think my camera was cut off at the moment when I was talking to him, so I'm hoping my other guy got it. But when I was talking to the police officer, he said that if I did go ahead and try to press charges, that they were going to cross-claim for video voyeurism, which I knew in the top of my head, I didn't know right off the bat, but I knew that I didn't qualify for any of those elements of that crime for video voyeurism. Although it's been a while since I looked over that particular law.
So because you weren't sure, you just cut your losses, let him get away, and then you put his phone number on the video at the end.
Right. It wasn't even because I was unsure. I was pretty damn sure that it would be hard for them to prosecute that if it went to court or whatever. But the simple fact was the officer was like, look, we're going to have to do a whole bunch of paperwork here. I was riding with the other two guys who were auditors from South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And we had some other places to go. Yeah, we had some other places to go and stuff like that. So I was just like, listen, it's no deal. He didn't put his hands on me. I'll just go ahead and drop it at that. But that's what happens a lot of times when we're out there. They'll try to run some bullshit on us, like a cross claim, or
sure.
And especially government employees. I got battered at the post office up in Lake City. Guy shoved me out the door. I called the cops and told them battery, and they took a report and everything like that, but they didn't arrest the guy, and I went back in, I think, like 5 days later to talk to the supervisor. It just so happened to be the same sergeant that was at the scene, and I asked her, I said, if I push a guy out here on the street, I'm going to jail, what was wrong with this guy? And she was like, oh, well, we just did it that way, that day, and, the process is different, and blah, blah, blah. It's just a bunch of bullshit that's blown up,
All right. No more cussing, please.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay, sir. I understand exactly where you're coming from. So where in Florida are you?
I am just south of Ocala in a town called Bellevue.
Okay, so that's probably a good hour plus from me. We have to meet up, man.
Yeah, that would be excellent. I was working with my buddy down there in Polk County, Government Accountability, a guy named Corey.
I don't know him personally, but just through YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, the three of us can meet somewhere in Central Florida.
Yeah, that would sound great. I got to come back down there again in a couple of weeks. So if you'd like, I can save your number and give you a text, let you know I'll be coming down there in the day and stuff, and if we can arrange for some coffee or something.
Yes. Maybe some auditing. I'd like to go out with you, man. See how you roll, because you and Freeman and just a few others are able to recall and be so strong with your knowledge of the law that, I'd take a back seat gladly. Just shadow you guys.
Yeah, that'd be great, man.
All right. Again, let me tell everyone before we hang up here, go to Rogue Nation YouTube channel. Subscribe to this guy. You want to learn about Florida law for sure, and law in general, and what you can and cannot do. This is your channel, Rogue Nation. This guy's name is George, and he's awesome, dude. Dude, you're amazing. I mean,
thank you.
I've watched so many people and so many things, and there's only about 10 or so strong the way you are. So I appreciate what you do, man, and I hope your 13,000 subscribers turn into 50 million.
I hear you, buddy. I hear you. Yeah, it'd be nice to get more people in the public involved in what we're doing, because it definitely needs to be done.
Yeah, you know, I had to get hostile. I mean, I didn't know my channel was gonna blow up like that. I was pissed off. I was broke at the time, and the last thing I needed was some punk ass cop stopping me for doing nothing and to steal my money. And I just got lucky there, and my channel blew up. But I'm glad to feature guys like you and Freeman and all you guys that do great work, because you don't have enough subs and you don't get enough attention.
Well, hopefully, you know, that's why we're out there every day. We're just trying to, you know, make more people aware of what our responsibilities. You know, a lot of people don't understand that the reason I go out there is not just because, you know, hey, I get some clicks on YouTube, or hey, maybe I get some advertising money, but this is actually a requirement of citizenship, is to keep track of these people that we employ.
You got it.
Because, you know, they're spending our money and they're doing it in our name. So,
and they're acting like they're our boss, when in fact it's the other way around. We're not a democracy, we are a republic, right?
That's it. That's it, buddy.
Anything else you want to say before we go?
Happy Memorial Day, man, and that's about it. You know, we all need to learn the law, because the law plays an important part in everybody's life.
All right, man. I look forward to you and I doing our podcast soon, and that was a joke.
Well, podcast. I don't even get on the radio or the podcast thing. I wish I knew how to do that. I'm kind of technically illiterate on that kind of stuff, so.
I'll figure it out, man. One of my subs knows how to do everything. All I gotta do is ask them.
There you go. Yeah, no, the subs are great. They always got some nice advice to hand out. So, but yeah, man, I'm excited to come down there, and then hopefully we can get some auditing done, and you know, do just a nice relaxing day.
George, I appreciate your time so much, man. It really means a lot to me, and what you're doing is what Americans are supposed to be doing. And call me anytime you want, day or night, I don't care, weekends, holidays, overtime, double time, anytime you want to call me. And let's get together soon, and thanks so much, sir.
All right. Well, you too, John. Thank you for calling, bud.
All right, brother.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Night.